welcome to Stripe Developer Office Hours. We are here on the exhibition floor at Stripe Sessions. And joining me today, I have some folks from the Wix team. And they're going to be telling us about some new and exciting features that they have available for our users. So why don't we just start off with a quick round of introductions. My friend, why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself? Who are you and what do you do at Wix?
Hi, Cecil. Thank you. Thank you for having us. My name is Amit Sagif. I co-head payment and fintech at Wix, which is basically all the relationship that our users have with money across the world,
Sure.
providing them with all their payment needs and financial services across multiple geos, multiple currencies, and all those little nuances that the Wix merchants have in their day-to-day life.
Nice. So it sounds like you work a lot with Stripe, right? And trying to figure out like how to best construct those payment workflows for folks.
Yeah, we've been a partner of Stripe for many years now, and we've been building our infrastructure with you and expanding to the world with you. We run our POS with you and many other of the solutions together.
Awesome, awesome. My friend, what about you?
Yeah,
Tell the folks about who you are and
My
what you
name
do.
is Bogdan Nanowski. I'm leading R&D team for Payments by Wix. So basically, I'm responsible for bringing all this stuff to production, like what you mentioned.
Nice. Now, when I generally think about Wix, I often think about, if I want to build a website, if I want to start my business, like this is the place that I go to kind of help get me started quickly. I might not have developers, I might not have engineering teams, but I need a website, right? Like I need a place for folks to know what my company does, what do we do, and offer services to them. Yeah. But it sounds like Wix has a lot more to offer developers than that, right? So maybe one of you could tell me a little bit about like what exactly does Wix have for software developers in terms of like APIs and different services and whatnot?
So basically, whatever we have for non-software developers, like a person who goes to Wix.com and they want to create a website or their business, restaurant, e-commerce, whatever, all these capabilities are available via our API, and later on today you will see a real demo also via MCP. So you can use like LLMs, you can use whatever solution compatible with MCP servers to build stuff, even with not visiting Wix.com.
I think when you think about Wix, you can think about an operating system that has multiple modules, and each one is built in the best way possible. So you would have your editors that allows you to create all the front-end capabilities and all those beautiful layouts with stunning views and responsive, and everything is modular to all your various endpoints. But you also have a very robust backend capability that spreads across multiple verticals. Could be e-com verticals, services, restaurants, hotels, digital commerce. So if you think about Wix in general, and you think about a developer coming to Wix and wants to create a really stunning solution, whether it's an app or a web page or any kind of omni-channel solution, we've got all the components built at the best and highest level in the production.
So when I think about that, I think about, you have content management. I'm imagining you have CDNs, right? I'm sure you have things to be able to like scale folks on different geolocations. So let's say, I don't know, we're in San Francisco right now. I just want to have a local business. Like I can come to Wix and you can help me with that. But when I'm ready to scale and I want to go to different countries, I need to have my website available in different languages. I need to think about working with different types of currencies, right?
Definitely.
Like you can handle all that stuff for me and I don't have to really worry about it as much. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's completely correct. And localization is not about translation.
Yeah.
It's about fully adopting your business to the local place that you want to run it in. So if you start in San Francisco and you want to expand to another location, whether it's within the US or outside of the US, we will provide you with everything that comes with it. Whether it's the global shipping or the currencies, transacting in your local APMs. So it's a very vast and broad offering that you can utilize to your needs of your specific business.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Like you said, shipping. So Wix offers like a shipping solution too, like an API that folks could use for shipping and stuff, or no?
Yes, our e-coms is very robust and connected to
nice
shipping solutions around the world and fulfillment, and we have all these e-com components that really build a fully robust omni-channel environment.
That's awesome. And so, in addition to all of these APIs that you have available, these different services, recently you announced that you've also created an MCP server. And I'm assuming that MCP server is layering on top of all those services that you just talked about.
Correct.
So now not only could you, as a developer, use the APIs directly, But if I'm using anything with LLMs or any type of MCP type tooling, I can also add that as well and have, I'm guessing, some or a lot of that same functionality in some of the other things that I'm building. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
This is exactly what we want to achieve, and this is exactly what we're gonna demo today, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we just start off with why did you think MCP was a good place for Wix to get into? Like, what do you think it offers on top of their additional APIs?
So I think we at Wix have been bullish about AI for a very long time.
Yeah.
We built our first website editor based on AI logic in 2016. Since then, we've kind of integrated AI in various forms throughout the product, and we understand that developers and agencies that are building really complex websites using our APIs are now looking into more AI-driven development.
Yeah.
And it was clear to us from the moment that the MCP logic was announced that this is something that Wix needs to go into to kind of open up this level of freedom that it gives to the whole world with our super robust backbone.
Yeah.
So bringing this production-grade solution into the LLM world.
Yeah, I think it makes sense too, because when you think about developer platforms today, right? Like, most companies have APIs, right? And that's almost like your extensibility points externally to allow people to, again, plug into your services, plug into your products, plug into your capabilities. But now moving into this world of AI and generative AI and, language models and things of that nature, this sounds like, okay, well, now we're going to kind of evolve as the rest of the industry evolves and give people the opportunity to plug into that stuff as well.
Yeah, we've implemented this. I would say we're leading this implementation in many ways.
Yeah.
Incorporating various agents in our product to support our merchants and users in achieving what they want, whether it's their customer complaints and their understanding of the system, all the way to coders who actually want to build on top of our headless solution and utilize those APIs. So there's quite a big range of AI utilization in the system.
Okay. So we spoke about this AI thing a little bit. I'm really interested in seeing a demo. Would you mind? Can we head over to your screen and see some of the things that you have to show?
I think so. And at Wix we like stories, so we prepared the story for this demo. So Amit will start, telling the story, and I will demo something.
So if you wanna, what we will see today is actually a story of a user that we were working with for a while. It's a yoga teacher. And this yoga teacher has a soft spot for dogs. We're all dog people. Dogs are in the office all the time. And every time somebody wants to do something good for our canine friends, we're all there. So she has a warm spot for her pet shelter. She was trying to raise some funds. And usually this process is kind of cumbersome. And we will see now how, from an idea that a yoga teacher comes and wants to raise $5 dog tags, all the way to production in seconds. So maybe Bogdan, you can take us through.
Yeah, I will do. So as Amit correctly mentioned, we will be building a website for a yoga teacher. We will start with a very simple use case. So for example, they want to sell charitable dog tags, to support their animal shelter. I have a prompt pre-created, so we don't spend time on that. We also prepared, a reference design for that shelter, so the site will looks nice. So let's start building, and it will take some time. Of course, LLMs they need some time to sync, so let's give it some time. And
I think that the reference design is really interesting because Wix has been about providing you the ability to create stunning websites with templates all along. And this is yet another way to utilize all those preferences and put them in a really quick way to implement something stunning.
Yeah.
And
I'm kind of interested, like, does Wix do any type of, so we talk about design, right? Like, are there services to help me prototype what my design looks like? Like, can you say, hey, well, I kind of don't know what I want. I know I want menus. I know I want prices. I need a map. Can I, is there a way for you to kind of like give me an idea about what my template would look like?
Yes, that's actually what Amit spoke about like several minutes ago. So you can select any way you want. You can create your design or your template using like LLM.
Yeah.
You can go to Wix.com and you use our AI-based editor, and you can provide in a chat way like your idea, and we'll build it for you. You can use pre-created templates. So we have so many opportunities, for expressing yourself.
Right. And so that's what I wanted you to dive into. So if I sign into Wix.com, I have my account, right? I can browse through different templates, and I'm guessing there's categories. So there's different use cases that I can choose from, or I can go through a template designer
Exactly. Yeah.
and
Yes,
customize
exactly.
what my thing looks like.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, it's actually done, so it wasn't that long.
Nice, that
so
was
you
quick.
see, it's a real website. You can deploy it to Wix. You can deploy it wherever you want. Actually, the problem is the button doesn't work.
Right,
So.
right.
And this is the moment where we want to show the real magic. So what
Okay.
I would say to LLM that I want to set up Wix Payments, it's our own payment provider, and to create a payment link. And under the hood, it will start discovering our APIs. So you will see like how seamlessly you can set up a payment account,
Yeah.
and it will start asking me some questions. So let's see. So first of all, it asks me to accept terms of services. We are all from payments, so we understand it's kind of illegal stuff. So I would say I accept it. And actually, it only asks me for my first name and last name. This is the very minimal piece of information I need to provide to Wix in order to create an account. So let's do that.
That's a point that worth mentioning, because this is something we've built throughout the years, and we're building it with Stripe.
Yeah.
And this is what we like to refer to as deferred onboarding. As people go and prototype and try to test out their ideas, they don't want to go through all the cumbersome KYC
Sure.
documented processes. We have a way to fully compliant way to allow you to process and transact in a free way, and only upon payout, when you want to get your money out, you will basically provide everything and you will finish your processes. So it really fits well with all the prototyping and vibe coding environment that really wants to get to production fast and wants to test an idea and see if it's valid with the users. And it really sits well with the way we look at our users, or what we like to call the Wix way, which is to get you to a production grade solution super fast with no hiccups.
And I think that makes sense, because you know who your customers are, right? And these are folks that you're like, hey, I really want to focus on my business.
Yes.
I'm not a designer. I'm not a web developer. I just need a thing, right? I need a site, but I want it to be robust. I want it to be production ready. I want it to be fault tolerant. But I don't have the resources to do that. And so it's great that you think about hey, how can we get these folks where they need to be quickly without having to fill out all the forms, click all the buttons, sign all the documents, but like only ask for those things when you actually need them.
Yeah.
And as they kind of go through the process, like you can preemptively be like, okay, well now we need to do this, and now we need to do that.
Yeah, and if you think about the average yoga teacher, they know very little about payments.
Yeah.
So as you start presenting to them all these obstacles they need to pass through,
Right.
it will slow them down towards their goal.
Exactly.
And the way we see it, and after thousands of hours of conversations with users, we understand that as they see value, they understand requirements.
Right.
So we want to get them processing, we want to get them seeing money coming through the system and their idea catching up.
Gotcha.
And then it's very easy for them to go and apply whatever is needed.
Right. Nice.
Bogdan?
Yeah, meanwhile, it's actually ready. So what we
Nice.
did, we actually created a real Wix Payments account under the hood. We created a pay link, and I already asked LLM to add it to my site. So let's go back to our site, and let's see. You see it's now clickable, and I can click it here.
And now the button works. That's great.
Wow.
It will work. We'll actually gonna... We'll go ahead. Let's see.
let's buy a
let's pay.
dog tag.
Let's buy a
Let's
dog
do
tag.
it.
Yeah. So you see it's kind of loading. Okay, so probably something is wrong with the
Okay.
internet. I refreshed
Sure,
it.
but then once that's done, like now you have this customized checkout page,
Yeah.
which is great because again, your customer didn't have to build it, right? Like you kind of just did it for
Absolutely.
them.
Actually, you can build it if you want, but if you don't want to do that, you can just use our managed checkout.
Yeah.
I will not fill all the information. Let's use Google Pay for that.
Sure.
So I already have my card here.
And I'm guessing you
Thanks.
also support other options too, like there's Google Pay.
course.
Yes,
I'm sure
of
there's
course.
Apple Pay and
Apple Pay,
other
Link,
things
and
you could
all
set
the
up.
rest of the payment methods that are connected.
Nice.
I think what's really interesting here is that you get a PCI environment fully monitored with all the risk tools. You didn't ask, and this is the production grade solution that it comes with.
Right.
Just using our MCP.
Yeah.
So even though you're building something prototypey, we understand that when it comes to transaction, when it comes to users, money, booking services, your products, you want it very robust,
Right.
solid, and always working.
Exactly, and we just had a magical moment. Look, we spent just
Wow.
6 minutes this is real transaction. I've been charged for that. So a real user can come to Wix and they can establish like payments in
every time I see this, I'm
6
amazed.
minutes.
It is amazing. Because I'm thinking about like how short of a conversation this has been, and you've uploaded an image, built out a website, have it running, and you have it accepting payments.
Exactly.
And that's the fastest I've ever seen anybody do that, to be honest with you.
And if we think about how long it used to take us in the past to run through developers and designers and all of these kind of interactions that we all have been living through, it's just an amazing way to be really focused on what you want to deliver.
Right.
This is why we really love this at Wix, because it allows us to bring to our users all of our toolbox, but without being a domain expert. So you don't need to be a payment guy or e-com guy. You're a yoga teacher. You want your dog tag. You want the payment to run smoothly, and it's there.
Absolutely, yeah. And so I just asked LLM, how do I manage my payments? So we actually run transactions. So it provided me with a link to my dashboard, and you will see like it's a real transaction, and you can do whatever you want with that here. It's actually also available via LLM, so it's up to you how you decide to manage it, but I just wanted to show our dashboard here. So it was like real payment here. I probably need to file a refund or reimbursement later for that, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you get your $5 back. Definitely.
So this is fantastic, but we know we don't stop there, because business is something that's evolving, always evolving. So our yoga teacher, she raised some funds for her pet shelter. She's ecstatic, and her community says, we want more. So she's thinking, what can I do more? And she decides to do a puppy yoga session where you can adopt at the end of the session, and she wants to get her community in. So what we will build now is the ability to have an online bookable appointment that you actually pay for. And you'll see that Bogdan will explain for a second what he puts in the prompt, but this is kind of everything that you used to do in a setup, all combined into one paragraph.
Nice.
Yeah. So typically, in real life, it will happen in conversational mode. Just because we are limited in time, I put all the information needed to create a bookable service. So we want to create a yoga session. We want people to be able to pay $10 for that session, and we want to have it up to 100 people. And I've heard like Baker Beach here in San Francisco is good for yoga. So we selected this as a place, and it will take us some time. I will be responding to LLM so we can continue our conversation about like all this stuff. It came up with a plan. You see, it started to pick up our documentation. So
and I can see it calling tools. It's thinking, it's reasoning about what's happening, and it's going and it's executing the ask.
But this is kind of an interesting place in time to pause and understand our place as developers using these tools and creators using these tools. Software around the world is changing, and LLMs now are changing, and as we've seen in demos in the last few days, things sometimes are stable, sometimes are less. Our place in the world still remains as auditors of what we just created. We want to have eyes on the creation and making sure that it's actually what we wanted to generate. And this may take an iteration or two. Obviously, in a demo, we've run through all of these hiccups. But I think that people now going into this new mode of creation need to accept the fact that it's multi-iterative. It doesn't happen on the one go.
But you have to troubleshoot sometimes. So it's not magic. It's kind of a tool for developers or for people who do not have like development experience. So you can use it. But overall, it works.
For me, it's magic. Every time I needed to do something that requires code, I needed a smart guy next to me that knows how to code it. I might have had the idea, but actually executing it was always a stretch too far. And having this, it's pure magic. It allows you to cross boundaries that before were not uncrossable.
And like for me, I think about it as having like an artificial companion next to you, right? So you have the idea, but you just need to execute it quickly. And you might have a thought about how to do it. You might not know all the different steps. And now your companion could be like, okay, hey, what's your idea? What do you want to do? Hey, could you make a thing that looks like this? And it goes ahead and it does it. And like you said, it still takes time and you might have to refine what the definition of your idea is a little bit to make sure you get it to be exactly how you want it, like what the requirements are, what the look and feel is, and all of that type of stuff. So you're still involved in the process.
Yeah, and we really kind of recommend people that go into using MCPs now and they want to prompt their way to actually structure some thoughts. You can use whatever tool you like, your ChatGPTs, and kind of converse with them before you go and implement. Like, what do you want to build? What is the key things that you should pay attention to? And then as you go into the prompting, things are much smoother. You understand what's coming. It really is more of a sequence that you can follow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually done. So I will show you quickly how it will look like in our managed page, and we'll have some magical moment here. So here's something we created under the hood. So it's complete, ready for production backend where you can book this yoga session. So this is Wix managed page, and we'll now go and we want to build something more embedded to our original page. So what I'm going to do, I will ask our LLM to build a custom app. I will again use a pre-made prompt, just not to type it here. But what I ask it to do, I want to code a custom bookings application for me, and I want to integrate it into my page, and I don't want to disrupt my design. So let's do that.
Nice.
And it will take some time, so we can continue our
conversation.
conversation.
What we saw before was a real live booking ability.
Yes.
So you could have stopped at the stage before, and your site would have been working, and you would be able to broadcast it to your audience and have classes being booked. But taking it a step further, I think this is where the ability of Wix is really powering embedded, because once you have something really robust working, you can then start tweaking it on the experience.
For sure. Nice.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, it's still calling our APIs. It creates all the needed infrastructure, like applications and stuff like that. So a lot of magic happens under the hood.
So a little bit of a sideway question. So I'm looking at what you're doing. You're using Cursor, and you're also using the Gemini model. Kind of curious. Not really Wix related, but do you have certain models that you think that work really well with Wix, or do you think they all kind of work pretty well together?
So yeah, I think so. For this demo, we selected with Gemini because we tested it with Gemini. It worked well. We also tested with Claude 3,
Claude.
with Claude models, with Sonnet. So it worked really good. So I cannot say we have preference. It can work with any model actually.
Nice.
So it's not something.
I think right now it's kind of split it between. Am I using it as to speed up my coding? So I would use Windsurf or Cursor or any one of the IDE heavy environments, or am I more vibe coding and I would go to a Claude environment? And what we saw that complex flows like the one we're kind of showing right now is more in the developer space right now, but we see things changing rapidly every day.
For sure.
And we think that it's really moments away from being in any kind of environment.
Right. Yeah, I know for me, I've been playing a lot with the Claude models. So as in my different editors and entities, the Claude models have been really good for me. But I think you're right. I think a lot of them are getting to this point where, the differences are not that different, right? Because they're all adding capabilities, they're all iterating so quickly.
Yes.
And I think, companies like you that are adding MCP support and extensions and things of that nature are kind of just making it so much easier. So now that we can leverage the base foundation of the model and now just add these extra capabilities, right? And they all run really well.
Exactly. I think the best part of MCP is an open protocol, so everybody can use it. And any manufacturer of any model can integrate with that. So you can use whatever you want, whatever works for you. And I believe over the time it will evolve, and we'll have some models fine-tuned for specific tasks. And more companies will come up with their fine-tuned models. So
yeah, this is great. So it looks like it's done, is it?
Yeah, I think it might be done. So let us. Can you run it? Because it's a live demo, so sometimes it's just stuck.
Sure. I totally understand.
Okay.
But kind of like what you said, like this is complete magic to me, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first started building web pages, and I could never imagine that we'll get to the point that like you can talk to your editor and it will just kind of do it for you.
So I think at Wix we've been trying to push this agenda for a very long time. What's your brand? What are your colors? Give us more information.
Give you some context.
And the more we saw AI evolving, the more this context was actual for the creation. So it moved from brand associated AI, like images, all the way to full implementation of flows.
Yeah.
We've built a lot of our own internal tools, and I think a big shout out goes to all the people back home building these capabilities, because people are really vigilant on making it work and making it work for the end consumer. We understand that it's really hard to be an SMB. It's very hard to build a business, to bring your ideas, to make them work, to run the day-to-day, and at the same time keep the high level of service that each merchant wants to have.
For sure.
So that really relies on our ability at Wix to bring to our users the cutting-edge technology in the best way.
Nice.
And we just see it happening very strongly now with the Gen AI.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, in the meanwhile, it's done. So what I'm doing right now, I'm installing my environment. We use NPM for that. It's developers are familiar to that. It's kind of package manager.
Sure.
So I just need to install the application. It will take some time.
Yeah, and then I think what's also interesting is, so as we were seeing your MCP tool work, I noticed this, but I didn't say anything. As you've been prompting the LLM and working with your tool, it also deployed the application as well. So not only is it generating the code locally, but it looks like it also went ahead and deployed it too. So you have the option to, again, run the code locally and kind of like what you're doing, you're going to install these NPM packages locally, but then it can also just send it to outer space, right? Like you can deploy it, and we can actually see what it looks like, what all our customers would see as they experience their web application.
Yeah. And you see what happened is kind of it's. So I'm not going to fix it right now because we're limited in time. So it's kind of changed the style. We can easily fix it.
Sure.
The magic I want to show you. So we actually created a real booking application, and I hope it works because I didn't test it yet.
We're gonna cross our fingers.
So I have to provide my name. So I can do it here, also probably my email, and let's try.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it's actually working. So it will now redirect me to payment, and again, I can pay for this. I will do it, so just to show it.
You're gonna charge yourself another $5?
Yeah, $15 for this demo, and so you can imagine how many times I prepared before that.
I can imagine.
Probably my entire salary went there. It's another magic moment. So we actually paid for a booking appointment.
Yeah.
And we can go back to our business manager. So you will see it here in payments, like a real payment. So
there it is.
You can also go to like your booking calendar to see like how many people registered to your event.
Yep.
You see it's 1 out of 100, so we still have some space for yoga.
Nice. Fantastic.
You can manage it. You can do like whatever you want.
Yeah.
I love it. I really love it, because I think in a way what we saw was several magic moments. We created a website, we connected payments in a deferred mode, and things starts flowing. I see that the business is working. It gets my appetite. I understand I want to expand, and I go back to the LLM. I expand my website capabilities into a full service, and everything is in a production-grade, seamless environment with Wix and Stripe. So you're in good hands, and you can start using that new presence that you have online to promote your agendas, your ideas, your product. And I'm still blown every time that this works, because if you were in this business in the past, you knew that to get to where we were just a moment ago would take you
took a long time.
A long time, with a lot of iterations. And now it's you with a good idea and some basic coding skills. And even if you get stuck, you interact with the LLM to understand, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? And it generates magic.
Yeah, and we have a big community of creators, so you always have people to talk about it. And the best part of it, it is available for everybody starting today, so you can follow this QR code. I believe we have a link on this, so you can go to our site and you can discover everything we have in terms of our MCP server. So
We've seen people build restaurants menus on this.
Right.
People building services, e-com shops. So really, the freedom is there.
Yeah.
Now we're just waiting for the creative people to come in, use these tools, and really build things that will wow us.
Yeah, and I think the key word that I've heard you use right there is the creativity, right? And again, these things usually take time, and now I have the ability to iterate so much faster
Exactly.
that you know sometimes you're working on a thing and you have an idea, but then after you implement it, like you might have lost some of that train of thought because you had to kind of change context. Well, now I can kind of stay in that creative
Just go
mode.
back in.
Stay in that creative mode, right? And then just keep iterating and going through things as you're really trying to understand like what's happening here.
yeah.
I totally agree, and also I think that it's so easy to get to multiple versions
Yep.
of that same thought. So usually if you, in the past, wanted to have, let's say, an A/B test between two versions of this event page, it would be hard, it would be something very cumbersome, and probably the yoga teacher would avoid it. But now, okay, I'll just spend another half hour and maybe
Right.
create something similar but a little bit different, and let's see what converts.
Right,
So
right.
it really opens up a place for business optimization and really freedom.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you can easily scale it your business to like new opportunities. Like we showed, we started with selling a dog tag, and we created a bookable event, and maybe eventually you can open like a charitable cafe
Sure,
where you
sure.
sell charitable items. So it's unlimited in opportunities.
Awesome, man. Well, folks, thank you too so much for coming on. If folks want to get started with this, like you mentioned, like there's a QR code that you showed, so they can go ahead and scan the QR code. Looks like you can head over to wix.com/studio/developer.
Yep.
I'm sure you see information about the MCP server, your different APIs, different services that they can make use of. And they can
Examples.
they can start being creative, right, and then focusing on getting that stuff done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
you
too
for
for
having
coming
us.
on. Thank all of you for watching. This has been another Stripe Developer Office Hours, and again, we are here on the exhibition floor on Stripe Sessions, and we'll be having more interviews and demos coming on soon. So thank you so much for joining us, and see you soon.